Jim is in San Antonio, Texas. Jim, you're on the Larry Otis Show. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Larry. I want to tell you, station owner, thank you for having you back on the air here. You've been gone for a while, and it's good to hear your voice. So
thank you.
And I hope you reconsider running for governor again in California. But and if you find somebody of equal or better quality, which would be difficult, but equal quality would be great. That would be so welcome there. But I want to say regarding the Newsom bass fires in California, and I think that's an appropriate name for that. What they're calling climate change, that's their nomer for man-made weather. Man-made weather didn't cause the fire hydrants to be empty. Man-made weather didn't cause the reservoirs to empty out. Nor did man-made weather defund the fire department. Nor did man-made weather put incompetent lesbians in charge of the fire department. Man-made weather doesn't exist and had nothing to do with that. This was a man-made crisis by Gavin Newsom and the idiot Mayor Bass. They ought to be recalled. They ought to be sentenced to prison for their role in the conspiracy here to burn down tens of thousands of homes and murder people, trying to flee. So I really wish they would look at that. This is a terrorist crime and treat it that way, because this was not wildfires. This was man-made from the start.
Well, Jim, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it. I think the structures burned in whole or in part right now is about 12,000. Scott Jennings, the resident Republican at CNN, talked about all the things that people say about Trump, but not a lot of accountability for the leaders in California, as Jim just pointed out, number 35.
Yes, I know, that's right. Yeah, sorry, baby. Sorry.
I find this conversation interesting because the current president is a Democrat. All of his appointees are Democrats. The leadership in California is all Democrats. We're doing a lot of doom casting about what Donald Trump may or may not do, but there doesn't seem to be much accountability for what the current people in charge didn't do that led to these issues, which I think the people of California should be asking those questions.
I think part of the issue is that there's a desire to cast blame when a natural disaster happens, and we don't actually know what caused this fire. So I think that's part of the problem.
Is definitely my answer for a lot of that, but
that's one of the answers for sure.
Trump-proof California, $50 million, number 51.
I think also in this environment right now where immediately there's disinformation flowing through social media networks that cleaves down partisan lines, that is stopping our ability to be united. And we should not just accept that as inevitable. That is weakening our ability to unite as a nation and as cities.
Let me answer your criticism by asking you a question.
Sure.
Do you think it was uniting or dividing while in the midst of these fires for the Democrats to go to Sacramento and in an emergency session vote to appropriate $50 million to Trump-proof California, to sue the Trump administration, which hasn't even taken office yet? Do you think that was a good priority and a good time to do that, or no? Was that dividing? Was that divisive, or was that uniting?
Scott, I think what Sacramento does, and by the way, I think the focus should be entirely on the firefighting. And I'm not going to go take that, bait, because I don't know the details of that particular bill.
They voted to appropriate $50 million to sue Trump.
We come back. Don from the City of Industry has a very interesting question. We'll be talking about that in just a second. Later on, we're going to talk more about the Pete Hegseth confirmation hearing. And we're going to talk to someone who's written extensively about EVs, electric power, gas power, and climate change, which is what Gavin Newsom and the mayor of L.A. and the president of the United States are suggesting as a primary reason for these fires. One more time. Voters are upset with Karen Bass, and they should be. Voters are upset with Gavin Newsom, and they should be. I'm upset with the voters. I said this before. Someone once asked me, are you in favor of term limits? I said, yeah, for voters. After you vote for Democrats 2 or 3 times, you should lose your right to vote. I was half kidding. Half. Thanks for watching these clips from The Larry Elder Show. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment. More thought-provoking discussions are just a click away, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.